I did pee my pants once in 3rd grade, but...
3rd grade? No!
I was about to say...
Get that out of here. Get that out of here.
Alrighty, welcome back to Our 3 Cents. This is our 12th episode. Laura, don't roll your eyes at me. We are super excited to have y'all back this week listening. My name is Molly.
I'm Bailey.
I'm Laura.
Sweet. Today we got a wide variety of topics, I think. And we're gonna just jump right in to a question that one of our listeners DM'd us on Twitter about. We're super pumped about it. It's a little different from what we're used to talking about. It's very surface level in my opinion, which I love.
Gosh.
Their question was, what do girls find physically attractive on guys besides their butt? Is that it? And for me personally, I felt a little targeted because I do find
no,
butts
it's only
attractive,
butts for Molly.
But I didn't know that was like they made it sound like it was like a universal thing, like that guys are just like known for their butts, but like a lot of guys don't have nice butts, so I really don't understand where that was coming from.
Well, I feel like it is because I don't understand why butts are attractive at all, but I feel like I'm the odd one out. Like
that bubble butt is what's attractive.
Well, what? Just because you can tell it's there? Is that what?
Yeah.
Well,
in a nice pair of pants, it just looks really
baseball
good.
Pants.
Okay.
Yes,
I know you. I was thinking about baseball pants because you love those so much.
A lot of sports pants, actually.
I mean, I definitely like toned down the past couple of years. I used to be like super obsessed with them, but it's like a nice feature to have. Like a guy has a nice butt, it's like a bonus, but like it's not like the end all be all. You know, like they don't have a nice butt, then I'm out.
Yeah,
but...
there's height.
Exactly, I love height.
Yeah, Molly, talk about what else you find attractive on men.
I think it's just butts and
height.
Yes, but those are not necessarily key factors. The guy, honestly, the guy does have to be taller than me.
Well, yeah, let's just stick to physical.
There we go.
Physical like attributes, like don't like.
Yeah.
Blanket statement: we're not. All of us are not shallow. No, but we're not shallow.
Just Molly? Is that what?
We're not shallow. We're not saying that, like, besides Molly, we're not saying that you have to have these things or I'm not going to, or whatever.
This is just simply what we find attractive. But it's just what we
find strictly physically attractive, so every 10 minutes we don't have to be like, but, like, it doesn't have to be like that, like, he doesn't have blah, blah, blah. Like, no. Like, this is just physical attraction. That's what the question was.
That's true. Okay. Yeah, definitely height is attractive. I like, I don't know, like, I joke about being the middleman, but, like, I really am. Like, I was, like, thinking about eye color, and, like, it depends on the dude, but, like, light eyes and super dark eyes are super attractive.
You know that's not what a middleman is, right? Like, you've said that a lot on the podcast now. You know that's not what that means, right?
I am a middleman, though. I'm always in the middle of the situation. Okay. I can go both ways.
Can you?
But I like freckles.
Mm-hmm.
I like dimples.
Mm-hmm.
Could you be describing anyone specific?
That's exactly
no.
what I'm going to look up.
No, I'm describing myself, actually.
Do you have a preference for hair color?
No. My mother would say otherwise, but I do not.
Oh, what does your mother say?
She, like, does think I'm into redheads, which, like, isn't necessarily true. She just thinks that I'm attracted to Prince Harry.
Who isn't?
So that means that I'm attracted to every redhead out there.
That's like...
But no, hair color isn't a thing for me. I used to think it was weird for a blonde dude to date a brunette. Just because... Are both of y'all doing that?
Interesting take.
It was weird just because I think I was so used to, like, seeing, like, brown-haired guys dating blondes. Am I wrong in that assumption?
I've never thought about the different
I think so, but yes.
Of people's hair determining if I thought their relationship
their couple,
was
I just thought it was weird when I was little, like a blonde-haired guy dating a brunette. I thought it was a weird pairing.
You say little, how little? 16?
Yeah, probably. But I like broad shoulders too.
Okay.
I think that's all I find attractive in a dude. I'm sure there's plenty more, but
I mean, it was most of
we
the
don't have to get
guy.
into the details.
All right, Bailey.
What about abs?
Abs? No.
What do you think about
that's
abs?
not.
She said,
No?
I
let's
don't
not.
like a fit body is not. I mean, it's attractive, but like it's not like a. I'm not like, oh shit, like look at their body, like damn. No, that is not a. Because I don't have a fit body, so I'm not. I almost don't even look at a guy if he's fit because I'm like, I will never get that.
I do not deserve that. I do not deserve that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys find
Bailey.
attractive?
Are we only counting things that come naturally with a guy? Like, what about fashion? Like, when men have like very good, like nicely
that
tailored
can count because that's
suits
natural. You have a
and
natural
stuff.
inhibition
Yeah,
to like pick up on things.
Yeah.
That's natural.
yeah. I like men's fashion when they're fashionable.
What do you classify as like fashionable in men's fashion?
I guess I'm thinking like dressed up fashion, like some form of button down and suit combo, you know, with jacket, sans jacket, some nice shoes. What do you think about men's fashion?
I just wondered what you were saying, like in all
Okay.
aspects, or like he has to be fashionable, like even in casual, or you meant just like you like a man that's dressed up.
I mean, not always dressed up, no, because that's like Molly and the abs thing. Like, I'm mostly in like some form of t-shirt and jeans all the time, so I couldn't handle a suit wearer in all hours
I mean,
of the
that's
day.
definitely important though. Like dudes wearing cargo shorts.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
No. Crocs.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable. What about
I
physically,
just like
Bailey?
looking at men's fashion. They look good. Physically, I like a good hairstyle. I don't really care about butts or not really muscles either, like Molly was saying. I don't know. I don't think I'm that picky.
Yeah, you're saying like very like vague things.
Yeah,
like,
I don't
their
really care.
hairstyle because they could do that
Hey,
however they want.
everyone
Basically,
has a hairstyle.
I
Might
like
not
a
be the right
good
one.
personality.
We just said we're not going to do that. You have
I know.
already failed at the question.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Okay.
What about you, Laura? What's your body type? Your ideal body type? Your ideal male physique?
I have to have somebody who's bigger than me. Like, or like
same.
like compatible in size. Like not because I'm self-conscious,
okay.
but because like we won't match. If I was like next to a really skinny tall guy, we don't match. It just doesn't make sense.
Okay, that's the same thing with the tall dudes.
Yeah.
Like tall and then bigger than you, I think go hand in hand.
And like it's not like they have to be like overweight or whatever. He just needs to be like we just need to be compatible. Like in my mind that makes sense. Like when you stand next to somebody, there's like you can see how people match together, and it's just like I don't want to be like I don't know. I don't want people to talk about our size when we're next to each other. And like it doesn't even have to be taller than me because my ex, if he was taller than me, it was only like a couple inches, if that. And I never felt weird about him. I don't care if you're taller than me or like whatever. I just want to not have like an obvious difference in size. Like broad shoulders, broad chest, like longer legs, things like that like make you compatible to me.
I guess I get that. I like I don't want to say like the guy has to be skinny or something, but thinner, close to my size.
It just like makes it like when you see couples that look good together, they have compatible proportions,
similar qualities
to each other.
Yeah.
I don't care about hair color. I care about hairstyle, like Bailey was saying, but just like I hate a buzz cut. I hate a mullet. Long hair looks good on certain people.
Yeah.
Short hair looks better on other people. The like swooshy look looks better on other people.
Yeah, I like
but
the
like
swooshy
if you're rocking
look.
something that you think you look good in, you might need to reconsider. I don't care about eye color. Facial hair gets on my nerves only sometimes.
Ooh, yeah, that's more.
I don't like facial hair.
I don't like
at
facial
all.
hair.
Some guys look good in it, but I don't want to kiss a fuzzy thing.
Scruff.
Yeah, I don't want to kiss.
I hate it when guys try to force the facial hair. Like even when they can't grow it, they still like
Just let it
try to
grow.
grow it, it's like, stop. Just shave it.
Like, I personally never want Sam to have, like, a bushy beard because, like,
Yeah.
and, like, no shit on him, but, like, I just don't think he would take care of it the way that I think that people should take care of theirs. Like, there is a man, a certain type of man who has, like, an impeccable beard. I know, like, he's got to be out there somewhere. He has, like, an impeccable beard, and it's all trimmed and groomed, and it doesn't look scraggly. But the majority of men have, like, a very scraggly, like, it looks unkempt, whether it's healthy and clean or not. It looks unkempt. It looks wiry. Ain't about it. And, like, mustaches are weird because they can just have a mind of their own.
Yeah. Yeah. We definitely not want just mustache with, like, no beard or anything.
I'm not against body hair, but I've never, like, dated a man that had a large amount of body hair. So it's like, I have nothing to go off of, but I think that I would like it to be groomed.
Yeah.
Like,
see, the less hair on the body, the better.
See, like, I'm fine with the little
that
bit
is
of
what
hair
Laura
to, like,
said.
show. I don't know, like, it's probably some, like, animalistic thing, but, like, I'm okay with some body hair, but I do not want, like, a coat. It's not okay.
I also like baby faces. That's also something I'm attracted
Like,
to.
chubby faces or,
It's a
like, young
habit.
faces?
What? Say that again?
Like, chubbier faces or, like, young-looking faces?
Both.
Is that an animalistic instinct? Like, you want to protect it?
No.
Probably.
You want to keep it safe?
Like, motherly.
Yeah.
I have a baby
Motherly
face, so
Molly.
I think I'm attracted to other baby faces.
I don't think you have a baby face.
I can see where you're coming from.
I do.
I mean, I know you think you've looked the same since you were like 7, but I don't.
I do look the same since I was 7.
I don't know how I feel. Like, I don't know how I feel about. No, I want like chubby's fine, like with a little like baby fat residual because I can't say nothing about that. But I don't know, strong.
You need
jaws.
some shape. Laura's doing a lot of gesturing, but you can't see that if you're listening. So yeah, she's miming
strong jaw.
shapes.
And like I guess a squarer face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think so.
I guess so.
Cool. That was exciting. All right, so I guess our next topic, we're going to be talking about therapy and our experience with it, what we think about it, you know, the whole shebang. We've all been to therapy.
Yes.
All for different reasons? Yes.
Probably similar reasons, but yeah.
Mine's
similar,
different from y'all's too, for sure.
Well, yeah, yeah. Molly, do you want to, I guess, start then? Because you went more for family therapy, right? You went to a family therapist.
Yeah, because I have mommy
like
and
share
daddy
as much
issues.
as we think is necessary, but don't feel like you have to overshare.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm not gonna overshare. Like I always do. So yeah, I went to therapy. My dad actually kind of made me go to therapy because long story short, my parents got into a huge fight and brought me into it, and I let it fester for over a year. And my dad finally was like, you need to go to therapy. Like, we're all going, not together. They've all been going separately.
Yeah.
And he was like, you need to go, like, just go one time, talk it out, see how it is. And if you don't like it, you have to go again. But he's like, I think it would benefit you. And I was like, okay, yeah, fine. And I agreed because I had been venting to my friends about it for, like, a year. And, like, what do you say to your friend who talks about how much they're pissed at their parents? Like, there's not much you can do to help them.
Yeah.
But yeah, therapy was super weird because it, like, over a gradual period of time made me better, and I didn't realize it until I was, like, done with it. I'm not done with it when I stopped going. I had realized, like, how far I had come, and like I wasn't mad anymore. And there was a lot of things that were, like, obvious to everybody but not to me, but like going to therapy showed me how I was feeling and what I was dealing with. My therapist was a little too smart for me, however. He used a lot of very big words I did not understand, and he would
So you went to
yeah.
a male therapist for the first time?
It was like he was a Christian like family therapist, I'm pretty sure. So he used like a lot of like he talked about God a lot, and not like a lot, like he wouldn't pull out Bible verses, but he would like say like God wants us to do this, blah blah blah. And then he would say like a big word as if I knew what it was. Obviously, I did not, and he would explain it to me, and like it was weird. That's why I didn't think I was getting anything out of it, because I was like, I don't understand what this dude is saying half the time. But I definitely need to go back to therapy for different reasons now. But
that's okay.
Yeah, it was a good experience. I enjoyed it. 10/10 would recommend.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to school, or do you want to talk about it?
Did I go to the school one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went one time, and the lady that I talked to agreed with me when I was talking about stuff that she shouldn't have agreed with me on. Like,
what do you mean?
I was talking about how annoyed I was with my parents, and like how I thought like all these things about them, and she was agreeing with me, and I was like, you don't know my parents.
But
you can't be annoyed with them. You don't
to
know
defend
them.
your therapist, I think she was more like okay, you're telling her these quote unquote bad things about your parents. That's all she has to go on. So I think part of therapy is to validate yourself, which is one of like the good things about it.
Yeah.
So I
guess I
don't think
like
it's
it
bad
from
that
a
she
stranger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more probably like she was agreeing, so you didn't, like, she might have thought that you felt bad, so it was like, oh no, you're fine to have your own opinions and your own feelings. Don't feel bad about them. But like, that's not what you needed, so you didn't like her, because that's not what you were looking for, either subconsciously or consciously.
But your therapist saw the rest of your family before you went to him. Did y'all know him before then? Like, did he go to y'all's church, or was a family friend? Okay, but by the time you went to him, he knew your family more.
Yeah. Like, my family had been going for almost a year.
Before they brought you in on the family therapy trip?
Before you started going?
Oh,
yeah.
Goodness.
I think my brother had been going like a little less than that, but he was still way before me. So I was the last one to go.
Wow.
And I think it's because my dad knows how similar we are, and so he knew that I didn't want to do it.
Was he like for doing it?
Oh yeah,
he
loves
been going
it.
regularly. Oh wow.
But he treats therapy as a like social hour. Cause like he got back from like when I was home the other weekend, he got back from therapy. My mom like asked him how our therapist was doing, and it's like, oh, he didn't really say much about like what was going on in his life. Blah, blah,
That's
blah.
not what he's paid to do.
Like, this is so. Yeah, I was like, this is not your friend. Your therapist is like your friend, but like only during an hour.
Love my therapist. Oh, she was great. I would want to be her friend. But I don't think they're allowed to do that.
That's the thing I think I hated most, because I knew I couldn't be friends.
My therapist was so cool.
Bailey, you want to jump in?
Yeah, so Laura and I both went to our student counseling center at school and got therapy there. I went through like halfway, like October of the first semester of my senior year. I went for some anxiety related stuff that I had been putting off for a while, but finally decided to go, partially because I wanted to take advantage of this free opportunity. You know, I figured they were all trained therapists, probably, which they are. I say probably, but like, I figured with us being in the South, I figured it would be difficult to just find any kind of therapy in general. So this was free and centrally located. It was just on campus. So they had a lot of therapists there. And yeah, my therapist's name was Emily. She was super cool. In therapy, you get to talk about your feelings and feel really affirmed, which is one of the best parts, I think, because you're like, I think this, but it's stupid. And they're like, no, it's not stupid. And you're like, you're right, it's not stupid. Thank you for telling me that. And then I was graduating, so we did talk about some like job and like career options, because I was having some fears about that. I'm pretty sure I cried every appointment in my the the second semester I was going, which is great. I'm a big crier. Yeah, she was super cool. I bawled my eyes out when we had to leave because I was like, I'm never gonna see you again. You're just this cool person, and now you're gone forever. Which, that's fine. I cried more about that than I did about like graduating or anything. I didn't cry on graduation day.
I did.
Me either.
Well, that's okay. That's all I have to say about me personally. I have more thoughts on therapy in general and society, but we can kind of save that if Laura, you want to talk about you first?
Yeah, so I went to therapy when I was a junior in high school. My dad passed away, and my mom thought that it would be beneficial if she, myself, and my sister went to see a grief counselor that was like a non denominational one, I think. I hated it. It's not what I wanted to do, it's not who I wanted to talk to. It wasn't on my own like volition. She thought that it would be best for us. And so I really didn't get anything out of that when I went, and we stopped going. My mom kept going,
Can I
but then I
ask
didn't really.
quick questions?
Yeah,
When you say non-denominational, it was still like a religious
it was.
counselor?
I think he was. It was in a church, and I forget what church it was, but it was
Okay.
like I don't remember what kind of church it was, but I think he
Mm-hmm.
like branded himself as non-denominational.
Yeah,
But
and
it was
then
still like slightly spiritual, slightly like religious, but there was like less undertones of the current religion that I was, the umbrella of the
yeah.
religion that I was under. So
And then did all three of you like have sessions together, or were you all three going for
yeah,
individual
we
stuff?
all went together. I think I
Okay.
went by myself once, but it was like a really short, see if you can get anything out of her type of
Yeah.
session. And when he couldn't, he'd like let me leave. So
Yeah.
I hated it. I didn't enjoy it, and so that's kind of the impression that therapy had left on me for years afterwards. And I think I knew like subconsciously that I should go back multiple times over like my college life, and I just would never do it. I was like terrified of the thought of going. And
Yeah.
I knew a couple people that went to the schools, and then a couple people who just went. And like in the last like 5 years, there's been a big resurgence of like people on TV talking about it really casually. And it's just kind of one of those things that like I think it was just kind of like working its way into my mind. And so for like a year and a half probably, I kept telling people that, oh yeah, I need to go, I need to do that, I need to, like, it would just fall into conversation with people. And I was like, yeah, I really need to do that, I really need to look into that. But I would never like bite the bullet and do it. And I got on, like, I would get on the website, I would look it up, I could never like bring myself to do it. I studied abroad the fall semester of my senior year, and then in the spring semester of my senior year, it just kind of hit me like, you're growing up, you're leaving college. There was just a lot of like, I was anxiety ridden all the time, but I had been for years. Like, I'd been having panic attacks for years. I had anxiety attacks. I believe fully that I had gone through depressions, manic depressions, different things, and just didn't accept it as what they were. And second semester of senior year, it was just kind of like at its like peak of like, you've got to do something, you've got to go like try it out. And it took me a month to get to the point that I was like, I can actually do this. And then I did it, and I cried every session.
Yes.
And like the first session,
Cathartic.
she like had to put in stuff on the computer, and she sat down and she's like, what's wrong? And before she even asked, like, she didn't say like what's wrong, but it was like the lead-in questions. Before she even got done with them, I was already crying, and I said, I just cry all the time. Like, that was my answer, was I just cry all the time. And we went from talking about things that I struggled with, things that I thought I could blame on other people, things that I thought I could blame on experiences in my life, things that I was blaming on like just choices I had made, future choices that I was already nervous about, future things that I was already like knowing that I was going to fail at without having justification. And she really, a lot of her things were experimental, and like you had to work and do things to get them to work. And I had journaling, and I had this and that. And I looked forward to therapy every day or every week. There was one time that I had like a horrible panic attack in one of my classes, and I just broke down in class one day, and went to see her after, and like I just felt more at ease when I left, and I thought that I could like do things. I saw myself hitting like peaks, like and valleys during therapy because I went for a very short amount of time. I think I went to less than 10 sessions, um,
Mm-hmm.
because we only did it the last semester. But I saw myself do really well and like, oh, I think I'm really improving. Oh, this is working so well. And then that week that I had the um, panic attack in a class, it was like, oh, is anything actually working? Like, am
Mm-hmm.
I doing this for no reason? And it's just kind of I stuck with it. Graduated. I felt really good um, for about a week, and now I'm kind of back to feeling like crap. Um, I need to find and go to and start looking into therapy in my area again, but there's just a lot going on. And everybody is busy and everybody's whatever, and there's no time. I can make all the excuses I want, but I really do need to start looking into it
Yeah.
again.
So do we want to talk about how we feel about therapy just in general? For example, should everyone go to therapy, or could they at least get something out of it? Probably. Yes or no?
I don't think there's anything bad. Like I don't think you can get anything negative out of going to therapy. I think
That's a
any
good point.
single
Yeah, that's
person,
a good way to put it.
every single person could benefit. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing bad
Mm.
that's going to happen from it. You could actually find some things out about you that you didn't even
Mm.
realize. Um, and it's just good. Like
Mm.
taking mental health days, doing something to benefit your mental health. Like people go to the doctor, people take vitamins, people do all these things for their physical health, but
Mm.
you hear less about people being proactive instead of reactive about their mental health. Like I was very reactive
Mm.
when if I had been going to the counseling center for years, who knows what kind of state I would be in right now. I think it
Yeah.
would be different. I'm almost positive it would be different if I had been proactive in my mental health.
Mm.
So,
I do want to put an asterisk by that you may go to therapy and feel off or bad or like you're not getting anything out of it, but finding a good therapist can be hard. I think I
yeah.
lucked out with who I got. Just that's just who we matched with. We had kind of similar like personalities and temperaments and like just like general like off topic stuff we could talk about, like, oh, what movies have we, been watching or whatever. Um so that can be a difficult process, but also don't feel like if you see someone once that you're like ever obligated to see them again. You don't got to. You're paying
Mm-hmm.
them. So,
Yeah.
I also think that therapy is a long
Yes.
journey. It's not a just,
mhm.
like one and done. Like I went to one session, I
Mhm.
No.
feel
Mhm.
fantastic.
It can be if
Like
you just have like
because
an instant problem you kind of want to talk out with somebody. Like I feel like some people think like,
yeah,
oh, for me to go to therapy, I need to have like a real like bad
Problem.
problem, which like one, if you're thinking about it, you probably do have something that's like worth going to therapy for. But if you're just having kind of like a personal life issue, like maybe you and your boyfriend had a big fight, you know, and y'all have been kind of fighting, you could maybe get that worked out in one or two. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be a super long term, but
Yeah, and like
Molly,
what
we were
Bailey
saying
said,
it definitely can
well,
be.
going to therapy for or going and finding a therapist can be really hard. When I ended my sessions with the one at school, she set me up with multiple different links and multiple different websites that I could go to
Mhm.
find verified therapists that she could recommend. And she even
Mhm.
offered her email, so if I find one, I can email her and see what she knows about them. Um, and like she was very pointed when she said at the end, she said, and if you go and you don't mesh well, or you don't think that you're compatible, or think that you're going to get help from
Mhm.
this person, don't go back. Don't try to stress yourself out and be stressed in a therapy situation where you're trying to learn how to be less stressed or to help yourself. Don't put yourself in a situation that you're going to be more stressed about. Like I don't think that it would help me at all if I went and saw a man therapist. I don't think if I saw
Yeah.
a male it would help me at all because I'm just not comfortable in that situation. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna kill my dog.
And like Molly said, you didn't click with the first person you saw or the person you saw at school immediately. You kind of got
yeah,
a prickly vibe off of them. So,
yeah. But like The reason why I said it's a long
Yes.
journey is because one of my friends who I convinced to go to therapy could only afford to go like once every 2 weeks, I think. And they went for like 2 months, and they were like, I feel 10 times better already. But like their issues were so deep, in my opinion, that I was like, just because you feel good now, like it's like the
Yeah.
flu medicine. When you take it, you feel 100% better, but you're still contagious. You still can't go out and
Yeah.
interact with people. Like you got to stay in and get better. I think some people like they want to like because the person that I convinced to go to therapy didn't want to go to therapy to begin with, and they're not a very open person. So like going to therapy was hard on them. And there were still things that they were holding back from their therapist because they didn't want to tell them.
See, I think that's
So
a
for them
really
to tell
bad,
me that like
not telling your
they're getting
therapist
better
something is
and
just as
like
bad as not admitting it to yourself, in my opinion. Like you're not helping anybody and you're really hurting. Like if it's like
exactly.
so bad in your opinion, like one, a therapist has seen everything. It's just like a doctor. Like you're really gonna be hard up to find like a doctor who's seen something. Like people go to the doctor and they're always like, this is the grossest thing or this is the sickest thing or whatever.
And
And
for
it's like no,
doctors, it's just
they've
like a
seen it.
Tuesday.
Yeah, and like therapists are the same way. Like you can tell them so many things that they're just and they know how to handle it and they've been trained and they're trained on like the most extreme situations. They know how to handle it. And so if you're hiding it from them, there's probably that's just so much more of a reason to tell them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I don't think you can get fully better
No.
if you're not
Yeah, because
telling
there's still
your
things that they
therapist
think the
everything.
problem's resolved or that you're completely satisfied with the whatever y'all have been doing and
Right.
there's
If
still
you say you
things
feel
that you're
better, they're
not.
going to think you feel better. They don't
Yeah, if you
know what's
say that
going on in
everything's
your
resolved
head.
or you don't have anything else to talk about, then they're going to be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, good.
Cool.
Job well done." When like things aren't resolved. How do y'all feel about couples counseling?
I
Yeah,
think it's
I
great.
mean, I've never done it, but yeah, it sounds like a very helpful thing.
I follow
Some people have trouble communicating, I
I
think.
follow or I listen to a podcast with Casey Neistat and Candace Poole. I don't know if y'all know them, but he's a really big YouTuber and she um, designs jewelry. But they, long story short, they got married 2 weeks after they started dating. Just
What?
got a divorce. Yeah, got a divorce, or 2 months or something. It was like a very short amount of time. Got a divorce. Were on and off for years, and then finally got married again. Had a baby within the same year, um, and their relationship's just kind of been like very untraditional, and they've had a lot of hard times. And on his YouTube channel, he talks about his life pretty openly and has told these stories about Candace and him. And they started a podcast called Couples Therapy where they talk about things in their relationship, but then they also talk about their like journey within actual couples therapy with a licensed psychologist. And they said that at one point they told some of their friends, and their friends automatically assumed that like they were getting a divorce, and like this was their last ditch effort to like save their marriage. And as somebody who has thought about me and my fiance Sam going to therapy for years now, even before I was going, I was like, me and Sam have to go to couples therapy. Like we have to. It really kind of like hurt to hear them say that when it's like, oh, is that what people are going to think of us when we start going like within the first year of our marriage that we're going to get a divorce? Because I didn't think that. And every time I brought it to Sam, he's never been like, no. So it's like, in my
Yeah.
opinion, it's another part of that like proactive. There's things within a marriage. Like we've pretty much been married for a good 3 years now, but I know things are going to change the moment we say I do, and I'd rather
Right.
just like get on top of that than have the chance to let something.
Wait, did you mean to say married?
She did, yeah.
Yeah, we've lived together. We've
Oh,
done
okay. I
everything
thought
that a
you
married
like
couple
accidentally said
does.
married.
So there's not like logistically, there's not much that's going to change. Like,
Yeah, and
but
I
there
think
is going to change. Some things are going to change, and I know that, and I'd
Yeah.
rather be like on top of it,
ready
get
for
ahead
it.
of it, than like wait until it's too late and wait until we do have a problem. And that's what Casey and Candace talk about. They're like, why wait until it's broken when you could try to
Yeah.
help it not break?
Yeah. I think that kind of like misconception applies to kind of therapy in general.
In
Like
general,
oh, I'm not suicidal, so I don't need therapy. Oh, I'm not rock bottom depressed, so I don't, like, you don't think your problems are bad enough. Or, like you said, with couples therapy, if you go to therapy, there must be something wrong, quote
Yeah.
unquote, when that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah.
Like, if,
And it shouldn't be like that, in my opinion. People
right,
shouldn't
right. It's
wait.
when you
Yeah.
want or need help, but that doesn't necessarily mean something
Well,
is
yeah, like whenever
terrible.
my dad made me go to therapy, that's why I didn't go for a whole year. I didn't think I
Mhm.
needed to. I was
Mhm.
like, my problems aren't big or important
Mhm.
enough to need to go see a therapist about. And even now, um, like I've been dealing with these feelings for like a year
Mhm.
now, and like I'm just now starting to think about going to see a
Mm-hmm.
therapist. Like, because like looking back, I'm like, oh, I've been feeling these things for a while now,
Mhm.
and
Well, I feel like that's what
I
all of us
don't think
did
anything of
because,
it.
like I
Yeah.
said, I knew something was wrong but didn't want to go. Saw my friends do it and benefit from it.
Mhm.
Still didn't think I was bad enough. And then finally, when I went, it was like, oh, wow,
Yeah.
I'm bad.
Yeah, there's just
I'm
such a stigma around it, like, oh, if you go to therapy, you're crazy, or therapists are just quacks. You lay on the couch and talk about your
your
parents. I mean,
feelings.
Molly, you did talk about your parents, but that's okay if you want to talk about your parents.
It's okay if you
Sometimes your
want to talk about
parents mess you
anything. No
up.
problem is too small. Like if you
Right.
think that there's a problem within your life and you think it's big enough that it's
Mhm.
causing you like any sort of depression, any sort of anxiety, any sort of panic, any sort of like you think about it while you're lying in bed at night and it keeps you awake, there's
Mhm.
a reason to go to therapy.
Mhm. And sometimes, like, we just don't have the mental health education to know that we need a problem.
We definitely
Like,
don't have the mental
Yeah.
health education to know we
like,
have a problem.
yeah.
Or to know that
Um.
it's okay to have a problem and that a majority of the public has a problem and that it's nothing to look down
Right.
on and
Mhm.
it's not hindering you and it's not a
Yeah,
actual.
like I kind of, I guess, around like freshman year of college kind of realized that I had social anxiety, but for a while I it was like there seems to be something wrong, but I would hear people like on YouTube talk about like their experiences with anxiety. I'm like, well, I'm not having panic attacks, so I don't have anxiety, so I don't know, but like
I didn't
mental
get to
health,
check the box.
yeah. Mental health issues are so much more like nuanced than we think of because we're not trained professionals, which is why you should go see a trained professional. And you
So
can
go
get
to therapy.
worksheets.
We
Yes,
are
go to
pro
therapy.
therapy,
Yes, pro therapy
pro
worksheets. I got
mental
lots of
health.
worksheets. They're very nice.
Take care of your mental health.
Yes, take care of your brain because your brain, hey, guess what? Your brain is you. You're just a
Yeah.
little chunk of brain floating in a meat body.
It's like when people say like if you had a headache or you stubbed your toe or you broke your foot or something, you wouldn't just
Exactly.
like let it go and say that it's not bad enough to like go to the doctor. Like just because I
Mhm.
break my ankle and somebody else broke their knee,
Yeah.
just because their knee means more doesn't mean that like your ankle can just heal on its own because somebody
Yeah.
else got hurt worse than you. That doesn't
Yeah.
make sense in any other sense. So why would it make sense for your mental health? That just because
Mhm.
you're not actively having panic attacks and you don't have dilapidating depression or you're suicidal does not mean that you're not just as willing or just as needing to go to therapy.
Yeah. Just make yourself a better you. You'll
Yeah.
be happier.
It's all to help
Well,
you. It's all to benefit you
I'm
and
not promising you'll be happier if you go to therapy, but
trust me, you might not be,
yeah, you
but
might not be.
in the long run it should work itself
Yeah.
out and it should be beneficial and you should get to a point that is better than the point you're at right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to promise therapy as a like cure all, but since it's so like talked against, I wanna hype it up.
Yeah, just give it a try. Like, and if you don't like it, if it doesn't help you, if you go enough times that you think this isn't helping, this isn't beneficial, I'm not getting anything out of this, this is not what I
Mhm.
need to be doing, find some other outlet, find a different thing, but give it a try. It's worthwhile, and there's so many different types of therapists and types of therapy, group
Right.
therapy,
Mhm.
grief therapy, um,
Yeah.
all these
Group
different
therapy
types of
terrifies me, but that could be helpful for some people.
all of these different things that are open to you and available to you that you could utilize and something might benefit you, but don't just draw a line in the sand and say it's not for me.
Do we have any resources we want to share? Or maybe we should put those in the description. I don't know if we have any off the top of our head.
There's that
Laura's making a face.
psychology. What is it? Psychology
I think
Today or something?
psychologytoday.com.
You can put them in the
has
description for your viewing benefit.
yeah. We'll share some of those. We don't know any
Talk
except
about
for
putting someone
psychology
on the
today.
spot.
Off the well, I thought it'd be helpful since we're talking about it. What if someone's like, "How do I
Put it
find
in
it,
the
you guys?"
description.
We'll share some of the stuff that just we know personally. Not that that is the I don't know, cream of the crop or the end all be all. Just
Second, or however many
mhm.
thing. Have y'all seen the
Uh-huh.
new Speak Now or Talk Now or Talk It Out? Or I'm really bad at this. I just thought about it when you said it. I just saw a
What?
Michael Phelps commercial. A lot. They're getting like
Oh
this
yes, I
like.
did see the Michael Phelps commercial.
Thank you.
I
They're
don't know
getting
what that
like
is called, but
it's about therapy. It's like Talk Now. I
mhm.
think it's called Talk Now. It's probably not. Anyways, it's like they're getting celebrities to sit and talk about like the first half of the commercial is like he was like, I'm Michael Phelps and I'm a natural born leader and I'm a swimming machine and I have this many
Mhm.
golds and like all of his successes. And then the second part is, and I have depression and I suffer from anxiety and I do this, this, and this.
Mhm.
And it's like showing how successful you can be when you
Mhm.
still have depression. And that commercial has a really nice website you can go to that we will find and put in the description box, and you can watch some of these commercials.
Yes.
Alright, is that all we had to say about therapy?
I
I'm
think
good.
so.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Don't knock it till you try
Exactly.
Alright, let's liven the mood a
Third
little bit
topic
with
for
our
tonight.
most embarrassing
I think if we
stories.
do
Now I
this,
know
I'm
what
gonna
you're
need
thinking.
therapy.
Hasn't Molly told all of her embarrassing stories?
No,
that's what
not
I
even
was
No,
close.
she has not.
Uh,
I've been saving this one.
oh gosh.
I'm so excited.
This is like I do a lot of embarrassing things. My life is just one big embarrassing story.
This is why Molly
But
needs
this
therapy,
one
because she talks about
is
herself
like
this.
kind of fresh.
Like that.
And I
Wait a minute. I want to stop you now. Because isn't this supposed to be like one of our most embarrassing stories, if not our most embarrassing? You're
It
not going
should
to choose
be.
something puny, are you?
and I think this is very embarrassing.
Okay.
Like
I just wanted to, just the fact that it was recent and that it's not like a deep wound.
Like that you don't ever
I
want to
do
talk
like
about.
a lot of surface level embarrassing
Okay.
things. Thankful, like I don't trip in front of large crowds.
See, that sounds surface level to me.
I do like intimate embarrassing
Yes,
things.
yes.
Like
If it's not embarrassing enough,
yeah,
you can
okay.
redo another one.
So this was this past Valentine's Day.
Okay.
I had a date
This one's not that
with
bad.
this guy.
Oh, this one's not. It's bad, but
This
it's
is
not.
bad. This is something that I will wake up for the rest of my life cringing about in the middle of the night.
I mean, it's pretty
Okay.
bad, but it's only
Go
one
ahead.
person.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've never done anything embarrassing in a group of people. Like I keep to myself.
Hey,
groups.
so do I, but mine is in a very populated area that I'm gonna tell. But no, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was going on a date with this guy that I didn't know for Valentine's Day. He's like, let's just go get drinks. And I'm like, that's perfect. Like, because I am very, I don't like to eat around people I don't know very well. I get very anxious. And so, but leading up to the date, I'd had a very large breakfast and lunch. So I was like stuffed for dinner. But I was like, I need to eat something because I'm going to be drinking. Like, I don't want to like get sick or anything. And so I was like eating some chips. And before I went on this date, because I was like really all I could stomach. Because again, I wasn't hungry. And so I get ready for this date and I meet him and he ordered us a bottle of red wine when I specifically said I shouldn't drink red wine.
Why shouldn't you?
And he was like, "No, it's Valentine's Day. Let's go all out." Because he asked like red or white, and I said, "White is safer."
Now, question: why is that?
I don't know. I just get more drunk off of red wine than I do white.
I'm surprised you drink red wine.
I drink Pinot Noir. That's what I drink.
Pinot
So
Noir.
classy.
I've been hanging out with my cousin too much.
Oh gosh. Her cousin's rich, y'all, so y'all can also get that joke.
But yeah, so he was like, let's do it. Let's get red wine. I was like, okay. And I was like, all I drink is Pinot Noir. Like, white wine I drink more variety of, but red wine I'm very specific. And he was like, we can just get red wine. So we split a bottle, so that's about like 2 glasses each. Yeah, no?
I don't know wine. That seems like more than 2 glasses to me, but I don't know.
Realistically, like if you were pouring like, it's 2 glasses each.
Okay.
And so, and like we're having fun. Like I'm getting drunk. It's fine.
Your tolerance level is outstanding, in a bad way.
I'm not super aware of how drunk I am. That's another problem that I have. That I'm never aware of how drunk I am.
Yeah, I think she's very drunk.
Until I get to a certain point. And so we finished this bottle of wine. He's like, do you want to get another? And like, I'm thinking this is like his way of saying like, this date's going well. Like, let's get another. Like, we'll be here for a while. So I was like, sure.
You didn't say yes. Okay, you did say yes.
So we get another bottle of wine. And we're like, I'm a very slow drinker too. So he's like trying to get me to drink faster. And I'm only on like my first glass. And they're like,
and you already got a
close.
second bottle of wine?
Yeah.
So he had 3 glasses, and you're still on your first.
Oh, no.
First glass, second bottle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Third glass.
Yeah, so third glass. And he's like trying to get me to like finish the drink, and I'm like, I can't, like, I'm so like done right now. And so he's like, all right, well, do you want to go back to your place or mine to watch this episode of Master of None? And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, your place or mine. I was like, I don't want to go to this guy's place. So I was like, you can come back to mine. I was like, it's a mess. This is me being naive. I was like,
welcome to Molly's TED Talk. Or Molly's Dumb Corner.
And I was like, it's a mess though. And he was like, oh, we don't have to go back there if you don't want. I was like, no. We can go back there. Because I know it'd be most comfortable in my apartment. But I was like, I just want to let you know, like, it's a mess. And
kids, you don't have to go to either place with a person.
Exactly.
If you don't want to.
You could have died.
But I didn't think
it wouldn't
we
have been
warned
comfortable
Molly
to
about
die.
all of this, and so now we're going to warn you.
Now we're just harping on it to you, the listeners. You could have died.
Learn from Molly's mistakes.
But as we're getting up, I told this guy, I was like, we're not going to hook up because I don't do that.
Hey, what does that mean, Molly?
Sex.
You do
okay?
hook
In this
up,
situation, it meant sex. He was like, that's fine. Like, I don't do that either. And I'm like, cool. Again, me being naive. And so
Molly is so trusting.
And so we get back.
I got beachfront property I want to sell you.
This is why I have such bad anxiety, because I'm so trusting. But, like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, should I trust them? I know how trusting I am. This is dumb. And so we go back to my place, and we put on Master of None, and I have a cup of water that I am steadily sipping on, trying to, like, calm myself down, because I am very drunk. And we're, like, awkwardly sitting on the couch together. We watch the episode. It ends. I can feel him, like, staring me down out of the corner of my eye. And I am such an awkward person. Like, so awkward. And I could still feel him staring at me, but I wasn't looking. That's the problem that I have. When guys want to kiss me, I don't look at them. And so I finally, like, look over at him. And he's, like, leaning in. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I remember saying the words, "I'm so awkward," and him saying, "I know you are." Just met this guy, and he already knew how awkward I was.
No.
You make it pretty obvious, and I'm not going to lie, you probably had said it at least 3 times that night.
Probably. I do have a habit of saying I'm awkward all the time.
I mean, how many times
just so
have you said
everybody
it in
knows
this
we're on the same
podcast?
page. I need people to know that I know how awkward I am.
This is not a surprise to me. If you tell me, I'm already going to have known. Don't think you're making a big, like,
revelation.
So we start making out, and I'm getting a little lightheaded. So I pull away,
for the
and
lack
I'm like,
of oxygen.
And he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, I feel a little light. He's like, "Do you need to throw up?" And I was like, "No, I think I'm okay." I was like, "But I'm gonna go to the bathroom just in case." So I go to the bathroom, and I, like, am looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, chill out, like, you gotta be cool. Uh, like, taking deep breaths, trying to get my shit together. And so I go back out there, and he's like, you good? I was like, I'm great. So we start making out again. And then I get really nauseous. And I'm like, oh, now I need to go to the bathroom. So I get up, run to the bathroom, throw up everywhere, into the toilet, but it just went everywhere. And it was all red wine.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Molly, were you eating dinner while you were drinking this alcohol?
Nope.
If I remember, that was an important part of the story.
She said she ate a bag of chips.
Okay.
Yeah, all
That's
I had was
right,
some chips.
okay.
So really just threw up red wine. It was
Red
gross.
wine.
So I like come out of the bathroom, and the guy's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Let's just say I like wouldn't kiss me again." And so this dude starts leaning in. I'm like, no, like, I'm serious. I would not kiss me. And he's like, it's fine, I don't care. So continues to make out with me, and I'm like, I just threw up.
Molly, this is less embarrassing for you and so much more embarrassing for the man who is so desperate that he's willing to kiss a girl who just threw up all her red wine on Valentine's Day.
I know, right? And the dude, like, wouldn't take a hint either. I was like...
He probably tasted the hint.
Well, no, I was like, I'm tired. And he's like, okay, and keeps kissing me. And I'm like...
No, get out.
Like, I'm gonna go to bed. And he kept kissing me. I'm like, that means you have to go home. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll call an Uber or whatever. And I was like, great. Turns out the guy just wanted to hook up with me, and I am oblivious, as always. But he was very mature about it, about like ending it with me, like whenever we realized we're on different pages. But
of different books.
At the time, that was a very embarrassing moment. Like, I was...
But he didn't even see you throw up.
Cringing for like a straight week. Just the whole situation was really embarrassing.
I pooped my pants at Disney World.
How old were you?
No.
Laura, yes, Laura?
No.
Yes, Laura?
No.
How old were you?
Yes, Laura?
I'm so excited.
Oh, did you not know that I did this?
I probably did.
How old were you?
It was my junior year of high school. I was with Laura on her trip. I was with her entire family. None of my family. It was just me and all of Laura's family.
Did I know this?
I don't know if you knew it at the time.
Like, secondhand embarrassment, not accept this?
Just block this out? You may have.
I suffer so hard from secondhand embarrassment. And I will act just as embarrassed and more, not like possibly even more embarrassed than somebody else. If I witness somebody getting embarrassed, I just have to walk away because it's like, I can't. So I probably just blocked it out if I knew.
I don't know if you knew this at the time. So we were at Epcot. We had eaten breakfast with the princesses in Norway. I remember that I had eaten, I think, some eggs, and I know one bite of fish. We blamed the fish later, but I think I only ate one bite of it, so I think I can't really blame the fish. And so...
Well, you shouldn't eat fish in the morning anyway.
I know, but it was one bite. I don't think it was the salmon or whatever it was. So...
My dad
ate breakfast.
That, so it was probably his fault. Was my dad with us?
No, your dad was not with us. Yeah, this might have been the first thing that we did after we ate breakfast. We went to go ride Soarin', and in line, it was me and Laura, and then, like, your sister may have been with us, your aunt and uncle and their kids were behind us little ways. Your mom was not riding it. Your mom was...
She doesn't ride those rides.
She was somewhere waiting off, and we were waiting in line, and I had a little fart, and then I farted, and it wasn't fart, it was poop. And I was definitely wearing khaki shorts, I believe, if memory serves correctly.
Oh, you always wore khaki shorts.
Oh, yeah. So I was like, oh, man, my stomach really hurts. I'm going to go to the bathroom. And I passed your family, and I was like, yeah, stomach ache. I'm just going to go to the bathroom. And they were like, oh, it's the fish. I was like, yep, it's the fish. So I went to the bathroom, and I don't know if I started crying then or if I started crying when I was telling your mom, but I found your mom, and I was like,
Oh
something
no,
something, and
she.
so I pooped
Yeah,
my
I do.
pants, and so yeah, and so your mom was like, okay, that's fine. Your mom was like, yes, I will take care of you in the hotel room, and your mom was really excited to
She
just stay in the
loves
hotel
one.
all
She
day.
does not. She pretends to like Disney World. She
Uh huh.
doesn't. She doesn't like
Uh
being
huh.
hot. She doesn't like
Uh
riding
huh.
rides. She doesn't like
Nope.
children, even though she's a principal. She doesn't like children outside of her school, and she doesn't like large crowds. So we all talk about
Mhm.
going to Disney World all the time. She's like, "Oh yeah, it'll be so fun," and then we get there and she ends up hating it, like she always does. And all she
Mhm.
wants to do is go back to the room. And so the thought of her being like, one, she gets to take care of somebody, which she loves, and
Uh
then
huh.
two, she gets to leave Disney World. I bet she
Yes.
sprung at the chance.
Yeah, it at least made me feel better, even if she was lying and really wanted to stay. Yeah, so me and her, I didn't talk about the cleanup enough. I had to go to the bathroom and clean myself, and then go find your mother and be like, "Hey, can we go?" And she was
How were
like,
your
"Yep."
pants?
Huh?
How were your pants?
How are my pants, or how were they?
Were they?
Yeah, could you tell that you had pooped your pants?
I think that there was like a little bit of a stain on the inside. I don't know if you could see it on the outside. If you could, it wasn't like all of it.
This is wild.
I know it was pretty terrible.
And not even that many people knew about that.
No. But I was in the middle of so many people. Like
Well, it's
Molly's like,
always
"Yeah,
like,
Molly's like, I threw up in my room, my bathroom in my apartment where there was only one other person and he did not see me throw up. I pooped my pants in the line of one of the busiest rides in the busiest place in the United States of America."
and then had to tell Renee Triplet about it.
And then I had
She
to tell
was
your
your
mom.
go-to.
And like, how do you word that I pooped my pants? It wasn't even I had diarrhea. I pooped my pants, and that's what I said. And in the moment, I was like, this is not the way to say it, but I'm so upset. I pooped my pants. Can we go or something? And so I just laid in bed for the rest of the day. I remember I had like a Gatorade or something. Ugh.
I remember coming back because I had gotten you like something in the
You
park.
did. I think you got me a present. It may have been some kind of candy, like an apple or
It was
something.
probably candy.
Or a little, yeah. It was, you had gotten me a treat because you felt bad. But yeah, no, you did not know at the time. I'm sure your mom either texted you or told you later. But no, Laura and I have never talked about this.
This is the
That's
best
insane.
moment of my life.
uh,
Ah,
yeah.
good times. I
So
don't
wait.
know.
Can we rank mine and Molly's stories on a
Oh,
scale of
they're
1 to
on
10?
different.
Yours wins.
They're on
Thank you.
It probably
different.
beats
Thank
Laura's. I
you.
can't imagine what Laura's
Thank
is.
No,
you. Yeah, cool
I
us
don't
down,
know how
Laura.
I went this long without hearing this. I'm so.
I know.
I don't even have anything to compare. I cannot think of anything in the last when you asked earlier, I was like, oh yeah, embarrassing moment, got it.
You brought it up, not me.
Well, it's just on the list, and so like I read it off,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, oh yeah, whatever. And we started talking about it. I was like, yeah, I have an embarrassing moment, but I
You
don't.
better
I
freaking
don't
have
know
one.
one after ninth grade year, I stopped getting embarrassed by a lot of things. Like I would get red in the face, but because
Well, you didn't poop your pants at Disney World your
I
junior
didn't
year,
poop my
so.
pants at Disney World, but I don't have I have mostly what Molly's talking about, like just minor embarrassments in front of like a class maybe or
Mhm.
like people I don't know. So it's
Yeah.
the literal only thing I can think of, and again only one person saw it, was when I went to church.
Amateur hour.
Yeah, no, I don't I can't think of anything I did in Paris. Oh, I mean, okay. So my first one that I was gonna say was when I was it had to be in middle school. Um, each Sunday afternoon at church, we would have like a potluck, and so we would come to church in the morning, stay, do like a thing in the middle. We did this I don't even know how to describe it, but we would stay all day and we would have
Mm.
lunch and dinner. And I was trying to go up and get like a slice of pizza and a drink, and so I was holding something in both of my hands, and I
Oh
felt my
boy.
skirt start falling off, and there was no way for me to stop it. But
Uh-huh.
it fell off, but I was wearing like
No,
tights
Laura.
underneath, and my shirt was long
Okay.
enough to where in church it wasn't like in church it was like a really fucking big deal, but in public it would have been like, oh, that's sad.
You would have
But
managed,
nobody would
yeah.
have seen anything. Like I was wearing tights, my underwear was like full coverage, and my shirt was long enough that it was fine. Like it was a shirt tucked into a skirt. So it really was. I was embarrassed as hell because I was also getting a piece. I was getting something from one of the from one of the deacons in our church, who was also a dad of one of my really good friends. So it was like he just saw it happening and couldn't help, and I couldn't do anything to stop it, and it just kept happening, and I was just like, ugh. And so it was fine, but literally nobody else saw it. Like I was super embarrassed when I sat down, and no one else saw it. I don't know how nobody else saw it, but nobody else saw it. Those are embarrassing, you guys. Some more embarrassing than others.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I like to win. I like to come out on top.
Did you though? In this instance, did you really come out on top?
I think so. Hey, I've been to Disney World since then. That joke was crappy. Laura, you want to do one, or should we just go?
I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
That's good. That's good. Okay, I think it's time
We need to leave. You don't deserve to listen to this anymore.
Alrighty, that is the end of our podcast. We've talked about what we find attractive in a man.
Yeah, remember that?
Therapy.
Yeah.
And our most embarrassing moments, which is probably why we're all
going
therapy.
to therapy. Yeah.
Just kidding. But yeah, thanks for listening. As always, you can email us questions at ourthreecentspod@gmail.com. That's the word 3 spelled out. You can DM us or reply to us on Twitter at ourthreecentspod, the number 3. And give us feedback. We love hearing that too.
Yeah.
You can find us on SoundCloud and on iTunes. But you're probably listening to one of those anyway, so.
Or YouTube.
Oh, and YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And our intro and outro music is by Kevin MacLeod. It's called Digital Lemonade. I think that's it. Again, thanks for listening. As always, I am Molly.
I'm Bailey.
And I'm Laura.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.